Hello and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style. And let's find out what's been on the hook. This week we are talking about all kinds of crafts, and I know that I have received some comments from y'all who say you really like that I've added a little bit of embroidery and a little bit of sewing to my videos, and it does make things a little more interesting even if you don't sew or if you don't embroider, if you don't cross stitch. It's fun to watch other people do it, and that's what I've been doing lately. I have been looking at the floss tube videos, which are a set of videos about cross stitching. That's usually the category they fall under. Sometimes they are just random embroidery channels that I've watched, and some really good embroiderers out there that are doing different kinds of things. So I've tried to incorporate that into my embroidery, and I'm going to show you some embroidery later. Right now I'm going to show you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Stonewash sweater that is on my Etsy shop. A lot of you have gone to my Etsy shop and have supported me there. I totally appreciate that. I love you all. All my subscribers are wonderful, wonderful people, and so caring and so sweet in your comments. You support my Etsy shop. You join my community, which is down in the description box. Don't forget to do that if you haven't already. There are some benefits that you get from that, so be sure to join up. This is what I'm wearing today, my Stonewash sweater, and you can find this pattern on my Etsy shop. I made this with coastal cotton, which is a loops and threads cotton from Michaels. I don't know if you can see that very well. This is the purple and white. I'm wearing the navy blue or the denim and white. I can't remember exactly what color it's called, but it's the blue, and this is the purple. And I purchased 3 of these and 4 of these, and I made this top out of 3 skeins of yarn. So I would love to make another one. I hope I have the time to do it. Probably make it just like this in the purple, because I really like this particular pattern, and I'll tell you why. One of the reasons is because the sleeves, of course, are crocheted right into the fabric. So once you finish the front and back, you're basically done, except for a little tiny bit of trim on this sweater. It's a very quick make. I use different stitches on the body so that you can wear this without a tank top. I am not wearing a tank top under this sweater. It is very comfortable, I must say. And I wondered this morning why this was so comfortable, and it's because this coastal cotton by Michaels is made from 90% cotton. It's 90% cotton, only 10% acrylic. So it really breathes, and I noticed that today. It's not a heavy sweater, but it's not like fingering wool or something like that. But it's very comfortable, very soft and smooth. So I would recommend making this particular pattern from this particular yarn. And you can buy this at Michaels. You can order it online. You can have curbside pickup at Michaels. It's very, very nice. And they have other colors besides these, so you might check those out. There might be a color that's more to your liking. But I've had a lot of compliments and response on my Etsy shop. A lot of likes on this pattern, and I'll tell you why. It's very comfortable, and this coastal cotton, I don't know what it is. It doesn't make a very drapey fabric. It does not. But what it does is it makes a very soft fabric, and so the soft fabric hangs very nicely. It doesn't cling. It hangs from the underarm out, and so I figured this morning I had used about 4 inches of ease in this particular sweater. I can pull out about 2 inches here, and then there are 2 inches, of course, on the back. So I have about 4 inches of ease. I think it's a little more like 6 inches of ease, and it's a little bit more, and I didn't measure it, but there's plenty of ease, and so it drops naturally from the underarm. Very, very comfortable. It doesn't cling, and I like the way that it hangs in the back. I really like this. I did not block it, although I could have. I didn't feel like it needed a block, so I really enjoyed wearing it. And the sleeves are the perfect length, and I just held it up to myself when I was making the front, or actually the back fabric, and I held it up to myself, and I thought, well, I'm going to need about this much chained out. Don't chain out all the way from the shoulders, because the width of the fabric is going to be the underarm marking. So from your underarm, you might want to chain out 3 or 4 inches, or just make it a short sleeve top, a crop top. You can do that. Crochet 3/4 inch sleeves into this. So there are a lot of things that you actually can do with this pattern. So the trim is very simple. It's a 1 row trim on the neck and on the sleeves. And I don't even think I didn't even put a trim at the bottom, but you could certainly put a trim down at the bottom of this sweater. This is I'm really casual today. I'm wearing jeans and this top, and I'm running errands, I'm doing my video, I'm doing everything in this top today. And it's in the 80s outside, so it's really very, very comfortable. And I really like this cotton. I really do. It's one of my favorites right now. So I just wanted to tell you that. And last week I had talked about all the patterns on my Etsy shop that are made in this similar fashion, with the sleeves actually crocheted into the front and back fabric, because that is a very easy make. And y'all are like me, you're in a hurry, you don't want to spend a lot of time setting in a sleeve, although it's certainly acceptable to do that. You can make a sweater a lot faster this way, I believe. So I wanted to tell you about one more pattern that I didn't mention last week, and that is the Foxy Boxy. I know I made that with the sleeves actually crocheted into the fabric, and I did. And Crystal's wearing the Foxy Boxy. This is made from Lion Brand jeans yarn in the corduroy color. Very, very soft. And this is crocheted very lightly, so you do need a tank top on under it. You can, of course, change that by lowering your hook size or making this from half double crochets. This is done in double crochet. Very simple pattern, and I really like it, but it's a fast make because you can finish this in almost no time because of the sleeves. You put the sleeves in as you're crocheting the front and the back fabric. So thank you, Crystal. I just wanted to show everybody that next pattern. So the 4 patterns that I have that are made this way are the Stonewash, which is this pattern, the Foxy Boxy, the Fall into Autumn, and the Woodland Tweed. So those are the 4 patterns that I have on my Etsy shop that are made in this fashion, where they have other things different about them, but they are made with the sleeves crocheted right onto the front and back fabric. Now on to my whips portion of the program. And the first whips I have are crochet whips, or works in progress. For those of you not sure what that means, I know a lot of people say it and they don't say what it is. You have to know what a whip is. It's a work in progress. And I have talked about this for several weeks. I'm making this particular sweater out of Beautiful You by Lion Brand. Very beautiful yarn. And I'm crocheting the sleeves right into the pattern, just like I did on the Stonewash here. And they're going to be a little bit shorter than the Stonewash, unless I put a large band at the bottom, which is a way that you can adjust the length of your sleeve. You can just add a band at the very bottom and do it in a decorative stitch or the same stitch, and it turns out really nice. You can make the sleeve as long as you want. I have about this much crocheted on the front of my sweater. It has plenty of ease in it, probably about 4 to 6 inches of ease, and it's going to be very comfortable. I've already decided that. It's going to be comfortable. And I have this much left of the second skein. So I only bought 3 skeins, and this color is not available. It may be available on Lion Brand. I might be able to grab it from there, or maybe you have to go to eBay, but I hope I don't have to do that. I have one more full skein of this Beautiful You yarn, and this is in the Cayenne color, Cayenne. Very beautiful, and of course it comes in lots of gorgeous colors besides this, but this is what I bought last year, and I hope I can finish that, hopefully finish that this week. I was going to do it this last week, but I was sidetracked by several things that I was working on. My second whip is a new project, and I know y'all know me. I have to have something new going on all the time, and this is no exception. I have started a sweater in Comfy Cotton, and this is the Whipped Cream color Comfy Cotton by Lion Brand. I have several cakes of this, and I thought I really need to use that. And since it's summertime, this is half cotton and half acrylic, number 3 weight yarn. So I'm making this with a J hook, which is a, I always forget, 6.0 millimeter hook. And I haven't proceeded too far on this, but I have started it, and it's going to be a sweater, a summer sweater with plenty of ease in it. As you can see, I have plenty of ease, not too much. I do have probably about 4 inches in this. and I am going to stitch this with some lace. I'm going to use some lace stitches in this to lighten it up from the bodice up. It's going to be a lace stitch and it's going to be very cool, and that's what I'm hoping to do with this. The bottom will be fairly solid up until right about here, and then I'm going to turn it into lace, and I have a plan for that. I'm kind of excited about it. I hope I can finish it. Those of you who follow me on Instagram know that every time I start something, I post a picture on Instagram and show what I'm doing. And sometimes I finish things and sometimes I don't. But I would really like to finish this. I know that I have several whips going on for crochet. These are my notes that I've taken for this particular sweater. Look at that. Oh, I'm scary. I'm a scary person. I'm not extremely organized, but I do get things done, and I get them done in my own way. So that is a project that I just started, and so we'll see how far I get with it. I hope I can put in some time on it. Now, Jo, who makes custom project bags for my subscribers, has a video with 2 brand new bags, and she shows us her outdoor craft room. So here she is.
Good morning, this is Jo with Jo for Totes. I am outside today, and I'm going to try to adjust this just a little bit for more light. But this is where I've been doing all my sewing on my screened-in porch, and so I thought this was a perfect setting to show you the 2 bags that I have for Gina, who lives in Kansas. So she wanted 2 bags. One is for her, and the other one is for her daughter. This is her bag, and this is the sunflower bag. And that's my pup, Gracie. I didn't think she would come out here. I guess I left the door ajar. So this is a gorgeous bag. I had found some sunflower fabric for Gina, but then she found this and sent it to me, and she just loves it. So she sent the aqua fabric as well as the sunflower fabric, and this is the back of it. So a nice view of the back. And for the handles, I put the stitch that's just a decorative stitch to kind of hold things together. I'm sorry, I'm going to have a hard time with this today. And then on the inside, I used this aqua fabric. That's just a plain aqua fabric. And I put an orange zipper, or it's more like a peachy pink orange. And then I put the same fabric that you see on the outside pouch. And then this is her stitch marker that's got a turquoise bead on it, and then some other little things, including a little bell that I thought was really cute, so I put that on there. Her medallion is very pretty, and I tried to make it look very similar to the sunflowers. So I used the same colors and then the gold tones that I also used in her little pull charm for her zipper. So this one is for Gina, I think, I'm pretty sure. And then this one is for her daughter. And as you see, her daughter is a Harry Potter fan. So this is the Harry Potter fan bag that has the fabric, again, that Gina found on the front and on the sides. And that's the back, actually, Marauder's map, which my granddaughter knew right away. But this is the front, and I used a little contrasting fabric for the inside that's got the same kind of brownish red color as the Marauder's castle picture shows. And then for her medallion, I made it with all the colors that you see in the fabric. And then on the inside, I used the same little contrasting fabric for the binding. And then she also wanted an inside zipper pouch, so I made that using that same polka dot type fabric that coordinates very well. And for her charm, I added a thing that I've had for a long time. It was a charm that I had years and years ago, but I thought it kind of looked like a star, and that's what I was trying to find, kind of on the theme of Harry Potter. And then I added some other beads that go along, as well as a little lamb stitch marker charm. So this is for her daughter, and I'll be shipping those off later today. So I want to show you just for a second why this is such an amazing place to sew. I'm just sitting at my table with my computer on this old Walmart styrofoam cooler, so sorry about that. But you're going to see that. But I wanted to show you why this is just so nice. because this is my view outside, and I can look down on my patio and my deck and see the flowers I planted there. On this side, I can see my garden, and there's a bird feeder out there that you can see maybe a little bit, but it's just an amazing place. Right now it's a little cool out here, but yesterday morning I was determined to sew out here, so I put a little space heater under this table to keep my legs warm, but I sewed all day long making something for my granddaughter and finishing up these bags. So it's just a great place, and hope you've enjoyed seeing it. And I can't remember what the next bag is that I have on my schedule to make, but I am definitely looking forward to it. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Welcome back. Thank you, Joe. That was wonderful, as usual. I love to look at other crafters' craft rooms. It is so interesting to see how people organize their yarn and their fabric and their sewing machines and all that. I know that's your outdoor craft room, Joe, and your indoor has all your fabric in it, but you do some of your sewing outside, which is so interesting to me. Now for the sewing portion of my video. I have sewn some this week. I did on Monday. I went down to my craft room and did some cutting out, and Tuesday I sewed quite a bit of the day, and I want to show you what I made. I made a new pouchy. This is what I'm calling these, my little pouchies, and these are project pouches that you can put an embroidery project in or a small crochet project in, cross stitch projects. You can, as I did this week, I took these to my grandsons last weekend, actually. And I had put some books and puzzles in there for all three grandsons, and I made them all different. And they were so cute. I just really was so excited to give those to them, and they seemed to really like them because they could open them up, and that was a big thing, to unzip and zip it. So if the zippers hang in there, I'll be surprised. They really liked zipping them up back and forth. But this is a cute little fabric piece that I found when I was shopping with Joe in a quilt shop, and they're watermelons, so cute. And then I coordinated it with a ruler fabric, and the ruler goes backwards and forwards, up and down, and see how some of the numbers are upside down, but some of them are right side up, so it's not really a directional fabric. I could do it however I wanted to, and so I used that same fabric on the bands here, and then I put a red zipper and a yellow pull tab. So I thought that was kind of cute. It's a summery kind of bag, and I really thought that was going to turn out cute, and I like it. This is my inspirational pouchy, and I found some fabric that has Christian symbols on it, and I thought I would use that for the back fabric. And then on the front fabric I just have a pretty pastel color, looks like watercolor almost, striped fabric, really pretty. And I also use that fabric to make the bands here, and then I use the inspirational fabric, let me turn it this way, for the back. I really like that, and a couple of people have asked me was I going to do an inspirational pouchy, and I said yes, I will. So when I found that, I decided to use that. I probably will do some other fabrics as well. I know that y'all are waiting for these to go out on my Etsy shop. I'm still not quite ready. I have 2 more downstairs that are watermelon, so I'll probably have 3 watermelon pouches to put out there, and I'm getting ready. I'm working on it. I still haven't figured out all the ins and outs of the shipping and everything, so I will probably have those out fairly soon. Now for the embroidery portion of my video. I have had so many people say they really like the embroidery that I brought up, and it's not difficult embroidery at all. I just wanted to show you that you can embroider something very beautiful that doesn't take 2 years to make, and it will look pretty on your wall. So what I did was I did a large embroidery project. If you remember, it was the Le Jardin, which was the garden in French, and it was a sampler with lots of little squares on it with different stitches. I took that to Hobby Lobby to be framed, and I'm picking it up tomorrow. So on Monday I will show that embroidery piece to you that's been framed professionally. Now I can't afford to do that with all my embroidery projects because I have several that I want to do. So I went, well, while I was at Hobby Lobby last week, I picked up a frame for my other project, which was the Bluebirds in Lavender. I've only shown this a couple of times, but I wanted to show you this particular piece that has been framed. And I framed it in a kind of a rough hewn frame that's about 2 inches wide, And if you'll look at that, it just fits the embroidery very, very well. Let me see if I can get it over here. I did finish it. It has some beautiful little pink flowers here at the bottom, 3 little birds on the piece, and then some lavender flowers here at the top. I threw a pink one in there. I actually did this in the colors that I wanted. I did not use the colors that the artist said to use. I used the basic picture to go by, and then I grabbed some DMC floss at my Hobby Lobby, and I just used that to embroider this particular pattern. I used a yellow around the edge. I didn't want it to be too loud, if you know what I mean by loud, and it looks really nice with this frame. I just wanted it to kind of blend into the background. So that's how I did the border, and I used 6 strands for a lot of this. In fact, most all of it was 6 strands. I think for the little hearts across here, I used 3 strands. So I just split a floss into 2 parts, which is 3 strands each, and I used that for the satin stitch so that it would be easier to do. But for all the lines that I have in here, I used 6 strands of floss. And it was really interesting to do. I love the way it looks on a picture. You can see it from across the room. It's not little tiny strands of floss. It has a very definitive look. If you'll see that from back there, you can still see the picture. You don't have to get right up on it, but I still like it up close too. I'm really excited about this. This was an artist on Etsy who just drew the pattern, and then she just kind of told you what colors to use. And like I said, I used my own colors that I decided to use. Oh, another thing I did was on the letters for joy, peace, love, and hope, which are some of the fruit of the Spirit. I did those with 3 strands so they would be easier. Let me get that up there where you can see it. So they'd be easier to embroider. So I did those with 3 strands. The rest of it is mostly 6 strands on this project. So it's not hard to do. And how I framed it, there was a lady at Hobby Lobby who does framing, and she said to take the piece after it's finished and put it on top of a towel on your ironing board. So I turned it over, I put it on the ironing board, and then you have to put a pillowcase or something over it, and I found some white fabric and I just laid it over that, and then I steamed it very, very well with my iron, not at real hot, but I did get the wrinkles out. There were some really rough wrinkles in here that were in the fabric because it had been folded up for a long time. It was in a package. So I ironed those out very, very well, especially around the edge. I didn't really want to hit this too hard, but it did smooth out very well. And then I bought a sticky board, and you can get those at Hobby Lobby as well. This is an 8x10 frame, and the sticky board was 8x10, and this pattern was actually about a 7.5 by 9.5, so that worked out great. So after this cooled off, I put it on the sticky board, just following directions on that, and popped it in the back of the frame. I cut off the excess. I actually taped it. I know there's some special tape you can get, but I didn't do that. I taped it on the back of the sticky frame, the edges of the fabric, and then I put it in. And on the back is a nice finish on the back. It has the hangers here in case your picture is this way, or if it's this way, of course, I'll be hanging it that way. And it was just a really easy project. I did it in one afternoon, and I was on the phone when I was doing it. I was taking a phone call. So I just wanted to show you that, because that frame was $25 and it was on half price. So I got the frame for $12.50. The sticky board was $2.99, and with tax and all, it was less than $20 to frame it. And when you put in that much work on a piece, you need to spend a little bit of money on it. You don't have to spend $120, but $20 is a pretty good price for a really nice heavy frame. And it looks expensive. It's not expensive, but it's not just a little tiny white frame. I always believe in taking a color from the piece and framing it in that particular color, or at least doing a matte in that color. And I'll show you on Monday when I pick up my large embroidery piece from the professional framers that's how I decided to do that particular piece. Staying in the embroidery part of my program, I wanted to show you my next project. So I have a working project that I haven't done anything on yet, but I think I showed this to you a while back. It's the same artist that did my Bluebirds and Lavender pattern, but this is, I think this is called Poppies and Lavender as well. It's a little bit smaller than the other piece, and but I love poppies, and I thought, well, this would be a quick way that I can use red, because I love to embroider with red. I think that's a wonderful, and that, my other piece didn't have any red in it, neither piece that I did. So I went to my DMC collection that I have going on, and I selected some green, some purple, and some red. And these are the colors that I came up with that are just in my stash. And if you want to know the numbers, I will put them down in the description box if you just want to know the numbers. I'll also write in the website of the artist that did the pattern, and I'll put the colors that I use for DMC on this, and I'm getting ready to start this hopefully tonight. I might put some time in on this tonight. And again, this is Lavender and Poppies. It says Lavender Poppy. I don't know what that means. This is a picture of what it's going to look like. It's poppies and lavender. Only 3 colors there, really. And then there's a border around this as well, and I haven't selected the color for that. I will finish the piece, and then I'll select the color for the border that goes around the edge. The fabric that I selected is the same as the other fabric. It's just the other half of it. This is Antique White DMC, looks like Charles Craft 28 count Evenweave, which is, if you're a cross stitcher, you'll know what that means. But it just means there are 28 fibers in 1 inch. So that's a lot of fibers. It's a very small weave, and if I can show that to you, I don't know if I can get that up there where you can see it. There it is. It's very tight. I consider this a pretty tight weave. So that's what I'm doing this on, and what I also did my Bluebirds on. So I have a feeling I'll be able to work on this pretty quickly. It's already ready to go, so I'm excited. I'm also keeping this in one of my little pouchies. I love this one. It's dress forms and flowers. I just think that's cute. I love those fabrics. Now on to the giveaway portion of my program. Before that, I want to show you what else I received in the mail. This is my crochet magazine. This is not the Crochet World that I'm giving away here in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to show you this particular magazine. This was delivered earlier in the week to me, and I really like it. It's also, though, very fall patterns. This is the autumn 2020 edition of this magazine. Here is the page with all the different items that are in the magazine, all the different patterns that are in here. A lot of wearables, a lot of scarves and sweaters, things like that to make, and really a great magazine. I love it. It is, though, into autumn, and I'm not really there yet. I'm hot. It's hot today, and I'm not ready for that, but if I'm planning to make something, I guess it would be good to have these magazines around. This is the same. Crochet World is showing a blanket on the front of their magazine, and I guess if you started now, you could finish it by autumn. It would be very beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, but I guess in the wintertime you make things for summer, but when it's hot outside, I'm really more motivated to make a summer sweater than to make an autumn or a winter article, and that's why I'm not working on winter sweaters right now. That comes in the fall, and I'll probably start some in the fall, but right now I'm doing summer sweaters and things that you can wear when it's warm outside. This is the crochet magazine that I'm giving away today, and there are lots of fall patterns in this one as well. So this is kind of a fall, end of summer, it says August 2020, so they're looking forward to wintertime. So this will be our giveaway for the week, and so let's turn the camera to the computer and find out who wins. I will tell you I had a little snafu with my camera, and I thought I had it turned on when it was turned off, so I'm flashing the picture of Lori Dodson winning the Crochet World magazine, but I don't have all that, setting it up and all that, but it did happen. I just didn't have the camera running. So I'm sorry about that, but Lori Dodson is the winner of the Crochet World magazine this week. Congratulations, Lori Dodson, for winning the Crochet World magazine this week. I will have another giveaway on Monday, so y'all stay tuned for that. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for subscribing and for sharing and liking my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell. That way you'll know every time that I put a video out, you will be notified, and so you can kind of keep up with our whips and progress in embroidery and crochet. If those are interesting to you, I would love for you to be a subscriber of my channel. Also, be sure to go down to the description box and sign up to be in the community. It's free, and you don't have to do anything but just fill out a couple of questions, and you're in the community, so you'll receive some really good sized discounts on patterns in my Etsy shop. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a peaceful weekend, a glorious weekend with your family and friends, or at least do some Zoom meetings. I know Father's Day is coming up, and we're doing a family Zoom on Sunday, so we're excited about that. And what we'll do is we'll key on the fathers on the Zoom meeting and talk about how wonderful they are. It's really nice. We'll have a great time. I hope you meet with your family and at least say hi to your father if he's still alive, and remember him if he is not. I don't have a father anymore, but I think about him on Father's Day, and I'm married to a father. I always tell him what a great father he's been, and he still remains a good father. He's in touch with his children almost every day, so I really appreciate that, and some great fathers in our family as well. So join me again on Monday when we find out what's on the hook.